Alright, so I just got my box of Sinocare blood sugar testing machines. I went with the Chinese one because the test strips are ridiculously cheap. I mean, I've never gotten test strips for a better price. When I was in the United States and I would get test strips, they would cost me an arm and a leg. I mean, hundreds of dollars. I can get, I think, 100 test strips for about 700 pesos, which translates into $14 to $15. So it's fantastic. And the great thing about these test meters is, even though the writing here is in Chinese, millimoles per deciliter come only in the U.S. measurements. Well, this is actually millimoles per liter is actually what the Europeans, the British use. I forget what the U.S. uses, but so 5.8 with millimoles per deciliter per liter is a good blood sugar. So still sealed. Just use force because that's who I am. Whoop. Oh, look at that. Comes packaged in a beautiful little package already. Oh, look at that. Instructions. I mean, if you've ever used one of these, then you know what you have to do. I'm just going to ignore the instructions and go directly to the package. Oh, they give us batteries, so they use AAA's. Here's the piece. So let's see. Here. This. Yeah. This is actually kind of nice that they use batteries that people actually use. I mean, it makes the machine quite a bit larger, but at least you know where to get your batteries. I mean, the flat ones are so difficult to get, and they're always quite pricey. I've already made the sound. I don't know what that thing is pointing at. Oh, okay. So these are the pieces that shoot the test strip out. Here's the lance. Yeah. There's always somewhere an indentation that you need to find. I'm going to assume that I have to use my teeth. I cut it open. I decided to listen to my wife's advice. They also have instructions, but all of these things are fairly simple to use. You just have to figure out how to get the top off. Maybe I should use the instructions for this one. Interesting. Ah, there. So no lance in there. Alright. So Sinocare actually gives you a lance for every time you test, which me having been poor is pretty silly because I just reuse them. But obviously I don't know what the risk is, because I mean the risk is that you get a dull lance, but after 1,000 uses you should probably replace one. If you're poor. If you're wealthy, then you can go through the steps of replacing them each time. So now if I pull this piece, so here is the other So you can see the little thing. So when you have it here, then more of the needle will pop out. I probably only need about this much. I'll pull this, and then you would see it fire. Yeah. So that's good. Oh yeah, so this whole thing came with 100 test strips, I think. Oh, 50 test strips. So these come 25 per vial, 50 per box. One of the great things about these is that it requires so little blood. So, oh my, it actually speaks to me in Chinese. How cute is that? Alright, so I'm just gonna push. Boom. Now I don't know how used you are to how much blood you require, but let's say I'm gonna go with the least amount and see if it works. Let's see. First test. I think my blood sugar is probably high because I just ate chips. No, they're low. It's low. So 3.3. I get to eat. Alright, that's perfect. Did you guys see? It's very fast. It takes a tiny amount of blood. I love these machines. So, and now you can point this thing and it shoots it out. And there you go. The greatest good that you can imagine. Go for it with all your heart.